Puri-Puri Prisoner is the lowest ranked S-Class hero at 15th. Puri-Puri Prisoner is a very tall and large muscular man. He wears a traditional prison jumpsuit with white and blue stripes. Puri is a flamboyant and over-the-top hero. He takes an interest in other good-looking male heroes and criminals, an interest that landed him in prison after he wouldn't stop assaulting them. He's actually supposed to be serving a 10,000-year prison sentence, but continuously breaks out of Smelly Lid Prison to perform his hero duties. He's physically very powerful, and utilizes a fighting form he calls Angel Style. With this style, he uses moves like Angel Rush and Angel Hug to completely crush his opponents. Although human, Puri has the unique ability of being able to regenerate from damage very quickly, and gains a new unique power-up with every battle, such as his Bristle Armor and Vibrating Angel Style that he gained from the Monster Association conflict. Some of his interests include his boyfriend's gifts, his body, watching the dance Ikebana, and eating stew. Tanktop Master is ranked 14th in the S-Class. He wears a blue tank top, long pants, and a belt around his waist with his initials and a tank top engraved on the buckle. Tanktop Master is one of the physically strongest members of the S-Class, being able to fling garage-sized rocks at incredible high speeds effortlessly. Tanktop Master has an odd belief that true power comes from tank tops, as seen when he observes Bang dominating Metal Bat in a sparring match, where he concludes that the secret to Bang's power is that he's wearing a tank top underneath his sweater. Regardless of where his power truly comes from, he uses devastating moves like the Tank Top Tackle and Tank Top Punch to send most opponents flying. He's the leader of the Tank Top crew, who follow his teachings and all wear tank tops and are named Tank Top something, depending on their unique qualities. For example, there's Tank Top Doctor and Tank Top Vegetarian. Tank Top Master actually makes his own tank tops, and the Hero Association sells them as part of their official merchandise lineup. Bad, better known by his hero named Metal Bat, is ranked 13th in the S-Class. Metal Bat is a young man with black hair styled in a pompadour, and carries around an indestructible bat given to him by the Hero Association. He's a brash and reckless 17-year-old, with a soft spot for his younger sister Zenko. Metal Bat joined the Hero Association at C-Class rank 223, but after impressing the higher-ups, he was moved up to S-Class 1 year before the current story. This is due to his incredible ability of growing stronger with the more damage that he takes, which Metal Bat labels as his fighting spirit. This means that he grows progressively stronger as the fight drags on, using attacks like Dragon Thrashing, Savage Tornado, and Savage Hurricane to beat down powerful monsters. He also has the lowest intelligence stat out of all the S-Class heroes, rating at a 3 out of 10. Demon Cyborg, more commonly known as Genos, is the newest member of the S-Class at rank 12. He's a 19-year-old cyborg and the disciple of Saitama. His intense pursuit of justice stems from his tragic past, where a mysterious rampaging cyborg destroyed his entire town and killed his family when he was only 15. Genos miraculously survived, but would not have survived long on his own, had he not been found by Dr. Kuseno, who happened to be passing through the town in pursuit of the cyborg. Genos begged Dr. Kuseno to transform him into a cyborg himself, and eventually the scientist complied. Genos was reborn as a cyborg fighting for justice, and promised Dr. Kuseno that one day he would find and destroy the mad cyborg. For the next 4 years, Genos traveled from town to town, defeating monsters and destroying evil organizations, but was unable to find the mad cyborg. Enhanced by his cyborg physiology, Genos possesses incredible physical strength while also being very agile, able to move so fast that he seemingly teleports at times. He's equipped with incineration cannons, detachable limbs, hypersensors, and other cybernetic features that he's constantly upgrading with every battle. Battles that usually end up being losses for him. He's like the Vegeta of One Punch Man essentially. All of these enhancements are powered by an energy core that runs on nuclear fission. Dr. Kuseno rebuilt Genos with the ability to consume regular food and convert it into fuel for his core, in hopes of giving him some semblance of a normal life. After witnessing Saitama's strength against Mosquito Girl, Genos has become his disciple and lived at his apartment ever since. Some of his interests include Saitama's teachings and oiled sardines. Flashy Flash is a member of the S-Class at rank 11. He's a former member of the Ninja Village's 44th graduation class, nicknamed The End. He's the fastest hero in the S-Class besides Blast. He wields a sword and can quickly handle multiple powerful monsters simultaneously, with attacks like Flashy Slash and Flash Fist. At a young age, Flashy was taken in by the Ninja Village and was forced to train day and night in order to become a ruthless assassin. At the village, a day would last 72 hours, with only 6 of them being used for sleep. The food there had no flavor, and members were blocked away from learning anything from the outside world. However, this is where he met his friend Sonic. One day, they stumbled across a room containing a god cube, and in that same room, discovered the recovering body of the ninja leader Empty Void. During the day of his graduation, Flashy Flash took out every member of his class besides Sonic, and immediately fled the village. After leaving the village, Flash was hunted down by multiple assassins and criminal masterminds, but he managed to take care of all of them during his spare time. Some criminals and assassins Flashy killed include Aburabozu, the king of organ traders, Harold the drug kingpin, heart collector Burigura, phantom thief Chimagusa, the invisible pirate captain Devilstorm, and the higher-ups of the coalition of assassins. Flashy Flash is also terrible with directions. Watchdog Man is ranked 10th in the S-Class. Little is known about him or his past. What we do know is that he's a young-looking man with a blank and uninterested look on his face. He dresses in a full-body dog suit with a red collar, with his face showing where the dog's mouth should be. He also has a habit of wearing his costume all the time, even keeping it on during baths. Watchdog Man was C-Class rank 301 in the Hero Association until he was moved up to the S-Class when it was first formed. He seems harmless at a first glance, but in reality, he can take out large monsters in mere moments, without much effort, taking a stance in all fours and moving at lightning speeds, with superhuman strength. He was left in charge of Q City, which is considered to be the most dangerous city in terms of number and average disaster level monsters. He perches on a pedestal in Watchdog Square, and can smell monsters the moment they appear throughout the entire city. Being able to run at speeds of 250 kilometers per hour, he easily removes any threat before anyone even realizes a monster had appeared. Superalloy Darkshine or Superalloy Blackluster, depending on where you read the manga, is ranked 9th in the S-Class, and is the most physically durable hero of the group, minus Blast potentially. He's a very tall, bulky, and muscular man. His entire body is tanned and gives off a lustrous shine. He used to be physically weak, and had zero confidence during his childhood, until he received some dumbbells on his 15th birthday, which motivated him to train and become strong. Years later, he became extremely strong and successful, being able to lift 2 tons with just one hand. He eventually joined the Hero Association and starts in the C-Class, at rank 383, the lowest rank at that time. This was until he showed that he was strong enough to destroy demon-level monsters with a single punch, and also tank entire buildings falling on his head. However, after being outmatched during the Monster Association arc in several fights, he's been left mentally scarred and refuses to do any more fighting, showing that although his body is unbreakable, you can't say the same about his mental fortitude. Pig God is ranked 8th in the S-Class. He's a large, morbidly obese man that carries a backpack with him at all times, to store snacks for when he gets hungry, which is all the time. He has the ability to instantly digest anything he consumes, and his body has elastic properties that allow him to eat objects much larger than his own body, in just mere seconds. His incredibly thick stores of fat allow him to take large amounts of damage. Pig God remains relatively inactive for most of the major events of the series, up until the invasion of the Monster Association. He once quickly consumed a poisonous monster called Eyesight, showing that his body is also immune to poisons. After losing a battle of hunger against the dragon-level monster Gums, he manages to rescue the private military group and Atomic Samurai's disciples by storing them all inside of his stomach, showing the utility of his eating ability yet again. As the situation looks extremely dire for the heroes in the Monster Association arc, Pig God thinks to himself if he should use a supposed great power that's inside of him. The fact that he refused to use it, considering that he was saving it for the day of Lady Shibabawa's prophecy, indicates that this ability is a truly powerful one, and might only have a one-time use. Drive Knight is ranked 9th in the S-Class, and like Genos, was once a human before almost completely replacing his organic parts with robotic ones. His hero name was actually a direct request from him as soon as he joined, possibly alluding to some significance in the name itself that has yet to be revealed. He's one of the more mysterious heroes in the S-Class, and much like Metal Knight, rarely gets involved in conflicts. Drive Knight effectively uses his high-tech shape-changing box to create weapons and transform his body. This method of combat is highly versatile and adaptable, as his transformations are situational. Some of these transformations include Knight, Silver, Chariot, Bishop, and Promoted Rook, clearly having most of his transformations themed after chess pieces. His pragmatic and seemingly cold-hearted nature is highlighted when he steals power from a large section of city, simply in order to recharge his energy core and continue fighting. For some reason, he's adamant that fellow S-Class hero Metal Knight is a traitor to the Hero Association. Zombie Man is ranked 8th in the S-Class, and is one of its more stoic and level-headed members. He's also the only hero to use conventional weapons, sporting an axe and pistol. He was created as a genetic experiment by Dr. Genus in the House of Evolution, and was given the name Subject Number 66, before escaping the lab to pursue a life as a hero. The genetic modifications gave him hyper-regeneration, being able to reform his body as long as some of his flesh remains. This allows him to store an especially powerful pistol within his own body, that he uses against stronger opponents. Having technically died countless times, he's developed a nihilistic personality, but seems to have developed a brotherly relationship with fellow hero Child Emperor. He played a major role in the Monster Association conflict, defeating Pureblood and Homeless Emperor. After witnessing Saitama's strength at the end of his fight with Garo, he realizes that he needs to become stronger himself. This leads him to search out Dr. Genus again. Dr. Genus then reveals that there is something in the basement of his takoyaki shop that could help him in his goals. Presumably, this is where Zombie Man still is at this very moment. King is ranked 5th in the S-Class. In public, King is known as the strongest man on Earth, and the hero's hero. In truth, however, he's just a normal guy who unintentionally gained the credit for the heroic acts performed by Saitama. In his childhood, King had won several video game tournaments, and continued to be obsessed with them into adulthood. One day as he was walking outside, he ends up being attacked by a monster called Octopus Claw Man, and receives the iconic scars he has over his left eye. Before the monster can finish him off, Saitama, who still has hair at that point, comes in to save him. Saitama would go on to save his life at least 5 more times, by destroying monsters in his vicinity, but King would always unintentionally get the credit, like in the case with Vaccine Man, after he slipped in his blood and fell into it on accident, making it appear like he had defeated the monster himself. The Hero Association, capitalizing on the reputation of his strength, made him an S-Class hero without having him take the hero exam, and King would be known from then on as the strongest man on Earth. Eventually he would meet Saitama again, now bald, and admit to him that his reputation is all a lie, and he had been taking credit for all of his accomplishments. Saitama seems to not really care though, and they start developing a friendship through video games, although King beats him handedly every time. After the Monster Association conflict, he performs Atomic Samurai's apple-cutting test, but gives up after several minutes of attempting to unsheath the sword. He walks away in shame, thinking that he's finally been seen as a fraud, but on the contrary, Atomic believed that King had drawn and used the sword so quickly that the apple didn't even realize it had been cut, and the sword hadn't realized it had been unsheathed. Regardless, this encounter left King sick of his own actual weakness, and sought guidance from countless dojos that refused to take him in as a student because of his reputation. However, Saitama simply tells him to start working out if he wants to stop being weak, so at the moment, King is lifting some weights. Dr. Bufoy, also known by his hero alias Metal Knight, is ranked 4th in the S-Class. Besides fighting, Bufoy provides many services for the Hero Association, such as weaponry, sponsorships, and facility construction. Before joining the Hero Association, he had Child Emperor as an assistant, where they operated at his main lab in an undisclosed location. Unbeknownst to everyone, he spies on those he sees as a threat to him, including his fellow heroes. When the original hero base is destroyed by Boros, he built a new facility in 7 days using his army of robots, when it was originally estimated that it would take 10 years. Little is known about his past, but he's believed to have a robot army capable of taking over the entire world. After intentionally letting his main battle robot get captured by the Monster Association in order to gather intel on them, his trustworthiness was put into question by Drive Knight, who believes Dr. Bufoy is secretly working against the heroes. He's usually not involved in many conflicts, and only joins fights when it benefits him most. Isamu, better known by his hero alias Child Emperor, was formerly ranked 5 in the S-Class, and the Hero Association's youngest hero. Prior to becoming a hero, he was Metal Knight's assistant, and left him to start his own lab in Y City. He has a genius-level intellect that works best when he consumes sugar. Due to the combination of his age and intelligence, his robotic creations normally center around kids' toys, with his strongest robot, Brave Giant, resembling a Gundam. Because of his strategic mind, he's put in charge of the Monster Association raid. However, the encounter highlights his growing distrust of the heroes, and leaves them to join the Neo Heroes after the battle is over. Although a genius, he still acts his age at times, like when he expresses anger at the fact that no one takes him seriously, and even his schoolmates don't respect him. It turns out that his hero named Child Emperor also translates to Virgin Emperor in Japanese, so he changes his name and persona to Wild Emperor soon after joining the Neo Heroes. Kamikaze, better known by his hero alias Atomic Samurai, is ranked 3rd in the S-Class. He's a skilled swordsman who belonged to a prestigious council of swordsmen before becoming a hero. He had started a dojo before the founding of the Hero Association. However, he only took on a trio of standout disciples to work with him as heroes. Bushi Drill, E-Iron, and Okama Itachi were recruited by him after passing Atomic's apple-cutting test, where Kamikaze has the ability to tell how a person has lived their life depending on how they swing a sword. He eventually joins the Hero Association Association after hearing that his self-proclaimed rival Bang had also joined and quickly rose to the S-Class. During the battle against the Monster Association, he was gifted a sword from the former head of the council, Nichiren. This sword, called the Sunblade, is a mystical sword that was from a continent that is now at the bottom of the ocean. With it, he seems to go into a focused state, where he fuses with the blade itself, and was strong enough to cut off Golden S's arm. However, using the blade leaves him exhausted. His goal now is to become stronger and find the legendary Moonblade. Bang, also known by his hero alias Silverfang, is a martial arts master, the creator and teacher of Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, and formerly the number 3 hero in the S-Class. In the past, Bang was a ruffian who recklessly challenged any strong opponent, and would put all of them in the hospital. Disgusted by his brutality, his brother Bomb decided to confront Bang himself, and put an end to his rampage. Their fight would result in Bang being completely pulverized by his brother. This loss would come to humble Bang, and make him see the error of his ways. Bang would choose to create a new defense-oriented fighting style, and decided to follow his brother's footsteps by creating a dojo. Bang owns a dojo passed down from generations, and teaches the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, which specializes in countering and defense instead of offense. This allows him to use his opponent's strength against them. Although mostly a pacifist by that point, Bang at some point took part in the Super Fight tournament and won. He eventually joined the Hero Association, being placed in the B class at rank 77, before quickly rising to S class. He used to have many students at his dojo, with his top student being Garo. One day, however, as Bang was away, Garo rampaged throughout the entire dojo, injuring many of Bang's students. Because of his actions, Bang beat up Garo and expelled him, but because of his rampage, he lost all of his students, except for Chiranko. After the Monster Association conflict, he decided to retire and take Garo under his wing again, to ensure that he doesn't go down the wrong path. Tatsumaki, also known by her hero named Tornado of Terror, is ranked number 2 in the S-Class. She's recognized as one of the Hero Association's most powerful heroes. She and Fubuki are known as the Psychic Sisters. Tatsumaki's psychic abilities eventually led her to being sold away from her adopted family, at the age of 7, by a group of scientists called Tsukiyomi, who were interested in studying her powers. She was then tested on by the scientists at their facility for several years. They rewarded her with candy and toys for cooperation, but denied her request to go outside. Moreover, the scientists locked her up in a cell whenever she wouldn't use her powers. When she was 10, a monster outbreak occurred while she was still locked in a cell, leaving her alone to fend off a monster. Luckily, Blast managed to come to Tatsumaki's rescue. He then introduced himself to the young Esper, and questioned her on why she didn't use her psychic powers to save herself. Tatsumaki answered that her powers didn't work, but Blast realized that she was lying so that scientists could deem her useless, and possibly let her go. Tatsumaki admitted this, due to being heartbroken by her parents for selling her out. After her encounter with Blast, she would eventually be inspired to join the Hero Association, and save many people despite her defensive personality. Blast is the mysterious number 1 ranked hero in the S-Class. For the past 20 years, Blast and a group of many other collaborators were searching for mysterious cubes that could turn humans into monsters. Among those collaborators was his close friend and powerful ally, Empty Void. About 18 years before the main storyline, Blast saved Tatsumaki from a hybrid monster, before giving her some words of encouragement and leaving. 3 years later, Blast fought his partner Empty Void, who was monsterized by God at some point, and put the Ninja Village leader into a coma. He would then return to the Ninja Village 6 years later, and wreck the entire facility trying to look for a God cube that was stored there. 4 years after this, Blast fought and nearly killed Elder Centipede. While battling the Centipede monster, he encountered God for the first time, and after refusing his transaction of power, he fought the mysterious entity and managed to barely survive. In the Hero Association, only Sitch is aware of that encounter, with Blast deciding to keep the existence of God from other people in the association. He wouldn't appear again until the war between the Hero and Monster Associations hit its climax. Here, Saitama, Minako, and Flashy Flash find a God cube and speak to God directly, before Blast teleports to them to claim it. He then teleports them to the surface to join the fight, and prevents God from taking control of Tatsumaki. As he leaves, he reveals that he's been fighting against God this entire time, with a team of powerful galactic heroes. However, he would be forced to return after seeing the fight between Saitama and Garo. He would then return to find Garo had accepted cosmic power from God, and a battle ensues. Here we discover that Blast has dimensional manipulation abilities, such as teleportation, gravity-powered punches, and energy blasts that can open gates to other dimensions, along with super strength and speed. This list was created without incorporating any information from the webcomic, so we're sticking to anime and manga only here, but if you wish to add any information you thought I missed, feel free to add them in the comments. That is it for this one though. Have an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next video.